There is a fighter on the throne of the women's flyweight division at 125 pounds, and her name is Valentina Shevchenko, and these are my top 5 threats to Valentina Shevchenko's title, starting with number 5, ending with number 1, giving you guys my reasons for why these people are where they are on that list. And still, I want to mention this as well, these are fighters that are going to be within Valentina Shevchenko's division or lower, because I feel like going above a division, I just end up naming the top 5 of the division above, to be honest with you guys. So I'm going to stick to the division that she's in, or the lower division being able to move up and make something happen. Starting with number 5 on my list of threats to Valentina Shevchenko, Joanna surname... Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I've written Joanna surname on my document here to list my top 5. Just because I couldn't be fucked to spell her surname. But still, it's Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I know how to say it. I don't know how to spell it. And I'll never know how to spell it unless I'm looking directly at the word while I'm typing it. But still, apart from her surname, Joanna Jędrzejczyk put up a decent fight against Valentina Shevchenko. And I feel like now that we've seen Shevchenko dominate Katlyn Chookagian, dominate Jessica Ai, we take into appreciation the performance of Joanna Jędrzejczyk in that fight. Because listen, Joanna Jędrzejczyk outlanded Valentina Shevchenko 15-11 in that first round. She went even on strikes with Valentina Shevchenko, 20-20 in the second round. She was 1 behind in the fourth, 18-17. She was 3 behind in the third. She was obviously 11 behind in the second, 21-10, but still, that's a close fight. I'm sure we can all agree. Even though Shevchenko, in my opinion, even if all of those strikes were even, she would still win the fight because she got the takedowns. She landed all of the most effective shots in that fight as well. So even if Jędrzejczyk evened up on all of those rounds in strikes, I still would have given the fight to Valentina Shevchenko. It was a clear win to Shevchenko, but still, you can't argue that Joanna Jędrzejczyk put up a hell of a fight, moving into the flyweight division for her first time. I liked it because, to be honest with you, in a rematch, I would like Joanna Jędrzejczyk's chances against Valentina Shevchenko, because Jędrzejczyk, that was her first time in the 125-pound division, moving up in weight. I feel like everyone's second time, once they're initially adjusted to the weight class, is often a bit better. I've used this example before, but we saw that with RDA moving up to 170. He fought Tarek Saffiedine, had a bit of a good performance, but then Neil Magny performance. You know what I'm saying? Then Robbie Lawler performance. And it was just a snowball effect. Once you get used to carrying around the extra weight, then you start to get more used to the division. I like Jędrzejczyk's chances in a rematch. I don't think she would win in a rematch. To be honest with you, I can't really say any of these fighters on my top 5 would win against Valentina Shevchenko, but I'm just giving you the chances I think they would. Joanna Jędrzejczyk is number 5 on my list. Moving up to the number 4 girl on my list of people that could possibly beat Valentina Shevchenko, Rose Namajunas, the girl who beat Joanna Jędrzejczyk twice. Some people say the second fight was close and could go either way. I understand that perfectly, but I thought Namajunas landed the bigger shots. Jędrzejczyk landed more of the shots. That's an argument that can be had. However, Rose Namajunas has something that Joanna Jędrzejczyk doesn't, and that is some offensive grappling that maybe she could use on Valentina Shevchenko. Plus, Rose Namajunas is actually a training partner of Valentina Shevchenko and has been for a very long time. So if there's someone who's going to know a very specific area of Shevchenko's game where she might not be as perfect as she is in other dimensions of her fight game, it's going to be Rose Namajunas, someone with that experience training with Shevchenko a lot of times and having those sparring rounds in the bank, and also having the confidence to go in there against Shevchenko, because for a lot of these girls, like Jennifer Maia this weekend, I'm sure, all she knows of Shevchenko is the head kick KO against Jessica Ai. Brutal KO. She beat Joanna Jędrzejczyk. You know, she dominated Katlyn Chookagian. She dominated Priscilla Cachoeira and all of these other girls. What Namajunas knows is, I landed a couple of jabs on her that one sparring session. I landed a good right hand in the second round of that other sparring session we have. There's a different confidence level going in. That's why I've put Rose Namajunas at number 2. Even though she doesn't really go to her offensive grappling game as much anymore, I still like that she has it in the bank, that if she knows that she has a tiny maybe advantage with the back taken of Shevchenko, maybe she would go for a position like that. But still, Rose Namajunas, I don't think she beats Valentina Shevchenko, but I've got to fill up a list somehow. She's number 4 on that list of people to beat Valentina Shevchenko. In fact, the next person on my list, number 3, is a good one that you people might have forgotten about. Tatiana Suarez. I feel like her offensive grappling game could be the answer to Valentina Shevchenko. Not to mention Tatiana Suarez is a lot more built than Rose Namajunas. They're the same height, but Suarez is a little bit taller. I'm sure we can all agree she's a lot bigger as well and a bit more bulky for the division. I feel like she'd be a more natural flyweight if she were to move up a division, which is something I can mention about Namajunas as well. Maybe she wouldn't do too well with a bit more weight on her because I don't know where that weight would go, to be honest with you. But Tatiana Suarez, I think if she bulked up a bit, she always has a tough weight cut to 125 or 115, sorry. I think if she bulked up a little bit to 125, took her time. In fact, I would really rather, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I would love to see a Suarez versus Jędrzejczyk rematch. Sorry, not a rematch. I would love to see a Tatiana Suarez versus Jędrzejczyk fight to determine who is next for the winner of Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas. But I would also rather, maybe, if that doesn't happen, Tatiana Suarez just coming back into the flyweight division because we need contenders. And if you said that Tatiana Suarez was going to be taking on the winner of Jessica Eye versus Joanne Calderwood in the women's flyweight division, I would be very happy with that, and I'd look forward to it because I'd look forward to seeing what does Tatiana Suarez do in the grappling exchanges with these girls in that division, because Tatiana Suarez is very good at grappling. We've seen that in her fights. Yeah, she's had a long time off, but I feel like Nunes had some success in the takedowns against Shevchenko. It's so hard to find weaknesses, but maybe the strength and size in the first 2 rounds from Tatiana Suarez could get the better of Valentina Shevchenko, put her in a bad position and get the submission off. I'm not saying that Suarez would beat her. I feel like I'm going to have to repeat this after every single candidate. I'm not saying she would beat her, but I'm saying she has a good chance of doing it because she brings a different style that isn't the typical style of these other fighters on the list that is just to stand there and try and fight with Shevchenko on the feet. Suarez would go for takedowns. I think that could pose a little bit of a threat, and I'd look forward to seeing that fight happen. It would answer a lot of questions if Shevchenko is dominant as we would like. What does Shevchenko have off of her back if Suarez does get her down? That would be very interesting to me. But Tatiana Suarez, people forget about this, beat Alexa Grasso 10-1 at the time in the first round by rear naked choke. Beat Carla Esparza. 3rd round, TKO, ground and pound. Carla Esparza is a great wrestler, and Tatiana Suarez went out there and out-wrestled her. Looked really good in that fight. Nina Ansaroff, decent fighter, good off of her back, good on the feet as well. Tatiana Suarez went into that fight injured and still looked good and won a unanimous decision and dominated the first 2 rounds. However, another fight on her record, Vivian Pereira, 13-0 at the time. Dominated her by unanimous decision. Won the Ultimate Fighter as well. I like Tatiana Suarez's chances. I don't think she beats Valentina Shevchenko, but I like them more than Namajunas and Jędrzejczyk's, in my opinion. Moving on up the card, I just burped, by the way. Jessica Andrade is at number 2. Now, I know what you're going to say to me here. Jędrzejczyk beat Jessica Andrade. Rose Namajunas beat Jessica Andrade in her last fight. What are you talking about, Jessica Andrade? Want to say this. She's already been at the flyweight division. She's now acclimatized to the flyweight division. If she wins her next fight, which I assume is going to be against Lauren Murphy in the flyweight division, she's going to have a great... Hang on, I'm going to mention this at the end of the video, but still, I've just noticed something here that tells me a lot about the division that Shevchenko's in. I'll say it at the end. But still, Jessica Andrade, dangerous girl, acclimatized to the 125-pound division, is going to be more acclimatized when she takes on her next fight with Lauren Murphy, and if she wins that one impressively, listen... She beat Chookagian more impressively than Valentina Shevchenko. I just feel like Andrade has the consequences and the style required. If you're going to be on the feet with Shevchenko, I prefer Andrade's style to Jędrzejczyk's. Even though Jędrzejczyk's style beats Andrade's style, I like that Andrade is willing to go forward rather than play the pitter-patter on the outside game that Shevchenko loves so much. I like that Andrade has the ability to stick her chin down, go forward and throw haymakers and rip to the body and not really mind if she gets cracked in the chance. Doesn't really mind if she gets cracked on the way in. She likes her chances at going out there, landing the big shot to take one, and hopefully finishing off Valentina Shevchenko. I'm sure she thinks in her mind. I don't see it happening again, but Jessica Andrade is another one on that list. I think she has a great style. Out of all the people on the feet, she has a good style to go out there and get the job done against Valentina Shevchenko, but this is a difficult list to do, man. This is the most difficult top 5 threats I've ever had, because at least with John Jones and other dominant people like Khabib Nurmagomedov as well, there's some aspects, but with this division of flyweight and below, there's not really anything too interesting, to be honest with you. Like, there's no real weakness in Valentina Shevchenko's game, and at lower weight classes, there's less chance of a KO out of nowhere, but Jessica Andrade is a really good fighter. I'm sure she would have a good chance against Shevchenko, and that right now, out of all of the ranked flyweights in the division, is the most is the most challenging opponent out of everyone ranked at flyweight for Valentina Shevchenko right now, in my opinion. Looking forward to when they eventually face, if Andrade gets past Lauren Murphy, which I'm sure she will. Moving on up the card to not the card, sorry, I feel like I'm doing predictions. Moving on to number 1 on my list of top 5 threats to Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko. Weili Zhang. Strawweight world champion, the girl who KO'd Andrade, that I said has a great chance of beating Valentina Shevchenko due to having the finishing ability. Weili Zhang has the finishing ability, had a great fight against Joanna Jędrzejczyk that I thought she won. A lot of people say Jędrzejczyk might have won. I agree that in the rounds that Jędrzejczyk won, she won them more dominantly than in the rounds that Weili Zhang won. But 3 of those rounds, they were close or dead even on strikes, and Weili Zhang landed all of the better shots and even got 2 takedowns as well. I feel like Weili Zhang clearly won the fight against Jędrzejczyk, although it was razor close. I look forward to seeing what Zhang could do against Valentina Shevchenko. Most importantly, because I don't know how good Weili Zhang can be yet. I know she's a little bit older, and she's not exactly coming into her prime, but she's still 31 years of age. She's got time left to make something happen and add some new stuff to her game. She's only really burst onto the scene over the past couple of years, so I'm looking forward to seeing if she can add some new tricks. Maybe she works on her grappling game a little bit and implements that a little bit more. I don't know. I mean, look at her power in the 115-pound division. She's clearly got power. Maybe if she moved up to 125 and packed up a bit more muscle, because she is very muscle-bound. I mean, Rose Namajunas is very lean, very slim, not really got the 8-pack or anything like that. But Weili Zhang, if she got to put on 10 more pounds of muscle, maybe there would be a big bit of power behind those punches in the flyweight division. I'd look forward to seeing her jump up and make the change. However, I do want to see them both defend their belt a couple of more times, or maybe one more time before making that move up. I'd like to see Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas. And if she beats Rose Namajunas by TKO or beats her up over 5 rounds, she's only established herself even more as the number 1 threat to Valentina Shevchenko in my top 5 list. I think Weili Zhang would have a good chance. I still think Shevchenko would beat her, but still, Weili Zhang's quick. She's got lightning fast combos. She's got power in her hands. There would be consequences for Valentina Shevchenko as well. I just feel like Shevchenko would still beat her. But it's a good fight, you know, and I'm looking forward to it when it eventually does happen, which I'm sure it will. But one thing I just noticed is that I have not listed a single women's flyweight. And that should tell you all you need to know about the quality of the women's flyweight division at 125 pounds. The fact that Valentina Shevchenko is the 125-pound world champion. And in my top 5 threats video, I have had to go down a division to find all 5 threats to Valentina Shevchenko. Should tell you everything about the state of the flyweight division. I think it's an absolute shambles. Calvillo was able to go from barely top 15 at strawweight to number 1 contender in Jessica Eye at flyweight and beat her with relative ease. I don't like that look. Jessica Andrade couldn't really hang in the strawweight division. Well, she could hang actually. She had a great performance against Namajunas, but still went straight up and dominated Caitlin Chookagian, who again at the time was number 1 in the rankings, completely dominated her. Tells you all you need to know. I like these strawweight's chances moving up, and I feel like more of them should consider moving up. And listen, if if Nina Ranzarov can't shake the baby weight after she's given birth to Nunes's child, after she's given birth to her child that Nunes will look after, then maybe she can move up and make something. But even then, man, what am I talking about Nina fucking Andrade for? Anyway, Valentina Shevchenko, she's dangerous and it scares everyone, and I don't know who can beat her other than at bantamweight, in which case I would name probably the entire top 5 over anyone here, but still, it's a problem. Valentina Shevchenko is dangerous, and I think she's going to beat Jennifer Maia. Oh yeah, Jennifer Maia. The girl she's defending her belt against isn't even in my top 5 threats. That's just how it is, you know, she's just going to win because she's really good, and she was literally beating bigger girls her entire career before this division opened up, and then it's just a crime scene ever since. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it though. I'm not looking forward to it because it's just going to be brutal this weekend, but you know, we'll see what happens. Maybe Jennifer Maia. I'm trying to curse Jennifer Maia to beat Valentina Shevchenko. I hope you guys understand what I'm doing here, okay? I'm just trying to make it happen. I've left her out of my top 5 list the week of her fight with Shevchenko. I spat at God in my prediction video for Shevchenko versus Maia. I'm trying everything I can to create some interest because I feel like Shevchenko in a rematch with someone that she's lost to would genuinely build some hype. But whatever. She's going to beat Jennifer Maia. Because this pussy up in the sky ain't going to do shit about it. You know what I'm saying? But still, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button up there. Those are my top 5 threats to Valentina Shevchenko. Goodbye, and I'll see you later. Toodle pip.